So CNN poll, Michael, so obviously these guys know what they're talking about. So CNN poll, most Republicans care more about picking a 2024 GOP nominee who agrees with them on issues than one who can beat Biden, okay? So this poll shows that only 30% of Republicans and Republican-leaning independents believe that the country's best days are still ahead of it. This represents a significant shift from 2019 when 77% of Republicans were optimistic. When asked about the 2024 GOP nomination, 59% of Republicans prioritize a candidate who agrees with their views on major issues over one who has strong chance of beating President Biden. The poll also shows that 38% of Republicans view increasing racial, ethnic, and national diversity as a threat, which is twice as high as 4 years ago. Additionally, 78% believe that society's values on sexual orientation and gender identity are changing for the worse, and 79% think that the government is trying to do too many things that should be left to individuals and businesses. What do you think about this?
I think the reasons people give for why they vote the way they do are almost never the actual reasons, right? No one says, I voted for the better looking person, I voted for the taller person, but they're going to have a rationalization after the fact that like, oh, I like him more for the issues or I like his career.
Kind of like the Kennedy thing you were talking about.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I think when people are asked what you're looking for, it's not necessarily what they're actually going to do in the voting booth, number one. Number two is I don't think Trump has a very good shot. Pun intended, because as soon as they start talking about the Fauci stuff, especially with the base, as soon as you start talking about his staffing decisions, it's going to look pretty bad for him. And I also think that there is enough impetus on the Democratic side for him to be either kind of charged with some kind of crimes, because I think they're very...
You think so?
If I'm an attorney general and I have the possibility of prosecuting a former president, that's going to catapult me, a state attorney general, into some national fame and history books. So the incentives are very much there for Democratic Party operatives to push him as far as they can. Why wouldn't they?
Now, when you say you don't think he's got a shot, define that, meaning he has a great shot of winning the Republican primary.
No, I don't think he has. I think
general election.
I don't think he has a good shot at the primary.
How could you possibly say that? He does 60% in the CPAC.
He's going to tell you if you don't stop interrupting.
Stop interrupting me, Michael Malice.
CPAC is irrelevant, as you know, because if you ask CPAC what it was at this point in 2016, I don't think Trump's name was even there. Or maybe he was because he just spoke it, number one. Number two is he's going to have an issue with fundraising, because now he's become so radioactive that if I'm a big businessman and I'm giving him money, it's going to be a problem for me and my customers, because all the press is going to be on top of it. There's going to be enormous there's a space now, if I am Facebook or or CNN or Fox, for me to say no to his ads, because now it's been established that this guy fomented insurrection. I don't believe that's true at all, but that is the argument. So it's easy for me as a corporation who's going to be almost always left of center to be like, oh, I can't take your money because you're not a patriot, so on and so forth. So he has a lot more stacked against him now than he did even in 2016.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.